Yes, it's another. Beautiful. Gosh, it's so gosh darn beautiful. It's like a Friday. It's actually just Wednesday, but it's Drone Brews. We're back. We take a week off. We come back this week. I'm not looking at the comments because usually this is the point where everybody's like, hey, your audio's not working, you dumbass. Why do you run a stream, you schmuck bag? All right, so we got a great show for you guys tonight. We have a special guest this evening. We have the one, the only, Zoroe. He'll be joining us. We're going to be talking about his experience with the FPV drone. But before I get too far ahead of myself, what am I drinking tonight? Not you, Paul. Not yet. I saw Paul like, he's going to bring me on. He's going to bring me on. Not you yet. Not yet, Paul. Not yet. We are drinking some 420 Strain by Sweetwater. It's a delicious IPA. It's a little hoppy. I'm going to be absolutely fucked up tonight. Can't wait. Let's bring in Producer Paul. Producer Paul.
Oh, what's up,
hey,
guys?
Haven't seen you in like 3 days.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Yeah.
You know, how's that drone go? I mean, you repaired it, didn't you?
No, well, I repaired one of them that I destroyed in Atlanta. I have the drone you destroyed is sitting on the bench.
Ooh,
So I have to fix that one. I'm going to replace the motors. I'm going to replace the BTX. I'll send you the bill. Don't worry about it. But
Yeah,
there's times. So Paul and I got a chance to finally meet up now. Now that we can. He's a lot out of the house. Finally. Woohoo. Yes. It was a fun time. So Paul, what happened? Why are you hurt?
Oh, dude, my tailbone has been like, I don't know. That's the last week. I didn't even really fall, but man, do we need to show them?
So let me give some context here. So when I met up with Paul said, hey, bring your electric skateboards. I have 2 electric skateboards. I have an Evolve and I have a Backfire. I said, well, Paul, you ride the Backfire. It's a little more docile. It's a little bit more a tame board. And I said, Paul, have you ever rode an electric skateboard? And Paul said, no, but I've rode a one wheel before. How hard can it be? Famous last words. So we were riding around this park and we were getting pretty comfortable. He was getting comfortable, or at least I thought he was. And anyways, I'll just play the video to show you Paul almost ate shit, quite literally.
All right. See if I can catch up to Dobo. He's going pretty quickly. Oh yeah. Woo. Getting better? Yeah. This is a lot, I'm a lot quicker learner than a one wheel on this thing for sure. Oh, don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. Trying to like electric skateboard while filming. I don't know how all these big YouTubers do this thing, man. This is like nerve.
Oh, just wait for it. Wait for it. He's gonna eat shit pretty soon.
Where's Ken? Ken. Oh. Oh, he's back there. I'm too nervous to turn around. Oh, here we go. Oh, almost fell.
You should probably look forward, Paul.
Probably. All right. Getting closer.
I'm not gonna lie, this made my heart sink a little bit when I seen this happening. All right, so you almost fell right there. That should have been warning number 1. You should have put the board down, Paul.
Well, then I fall off like right here.
Are you serious? Are you serious, Paul?
Where'd he go? All the way down there. All right. Let's see how he does. He doesn't do too well.
You know how this story goes. Triple slow-mo, Paul? What the fuck, man?
Gotta go for full slow-mo.
Oh, full slow-mo.
I mean, it doesn't look that bad from here, but
Your last.
I wish I could have saw your angle, which you were wearing a GoPro on your head. I got a little too confident there. I thought I was gonna bust my face.
I thought you were going down.
Yes. I think I'm filming right now. All right.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I think.
Car so we can go get lunch.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have to explain to your wife why I was taking you to the ER when I saw that. It looked worse. I wish I was recording with something because you look like Fred Flintstone. That's the only way to describe it.
Yeah, I showed Chelsea and she's like, it didn't look that bad. Yeah, it actually looked fine.
It was bad because you were doing about 15 miles an hour is what I saw as you were coming down the hill. But I mean, I'm telling you, man, everything that could have went wrong with that little stint there, you wouldn't be able to keep up with Sean Oz and myself. Because when we're on the boards, we're just ripping right along.
Yeah, I needed some more practice. Just like FPV, I need
more. We probably need to wear helmets because that's one good hit, we're gonna be screwed.
My wife was like, "You weren't wearing helmets? How dare you not wear a helmet?"
I know we're dastardly people. So Paul, let's go ahead and we're gonna bring the guest on. So we've got Zoroe coming on tonight. Zoroe recently picked up the FPV drone. Zoroe is a avid FPV pilot. He's actually pretty well known in the FPV community. So we'll talk to him about his experience, his thoughts on it. I'll play his intro. How about that?
I hate this thing. Oh my God, I hate it so much, dude. Fuck this thing. I feel really disappointed. I'm really sad. I really wanted this to work, and I hope I can return it to Best Buy because this is fucking garbage. I hate it. This is so bad. I'd much rather have a Mavic that I know what he will do, and I know that the fucking, you know, it can handle all kinds of different stuff. And sure, it's a little boring and, you know, one trick pony, but this is like not gonna do the same thing. Well, at least I know now. Sorry, this thing is whack. Whack.
Hello and welcome to Zoroe.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time on Drone Brews, Zoroe.
Thank you, fellas. Honored to be here. What an intro! Oh my God, can I use that on my channel?
Yeah, we just hyped you up. We hyped you up, so hopefully he lives up to all the hype. No, but I think I've seen a lot of people in the chat. They talk about how they already watch you, so they know who you are. So, but for those that don't know you, and this is probably like the first time that they've ever seen you ever, give us a rundown of what they can expect from your channel.
Oh, damn. There's a lot. My channel is not just for drones. It's not just for like one thing. I wanted to make a channel about the things that I'm into, basically. And drones is a huge part of my life. I also used to do graffiti art. I mean, I still do. I paint and do all that stuff. So like I've been going back and forth whether I should make just the art channel and the drone channel or whatever, but it's basically all of those things. I try to make pretty funny videos without being like cringy, hopefully. Also, I like to just like, I don't like having things too serious ever, pretty much. So with like gorilla whooping, that was like a big thing that I did. When I used analog, I don't have HD little quad anymore, but I used to like go in malls, go into like stores and like troll people with my drone. That's kind of like a little thing that I did. So it's all those things combined into one thing.
So I say to the channel thing, I say the one beautiful thing about having just your name Zoroe is that you can go in any direction you want, any vertical you want. You don't have to just bind it to drones. I always look at it as this is like you can do one thing really well, or you can do multiple things okay.
Right. Totally.
That's what I think. I think sometimes as like influencers, we're just so scattered about. It gets a little bit hard to like do everything, and then sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. But I dig the channel. I
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
How long have you been flying?
I've been flying for about like 4 years.
Okay.
I first picked up a drone like in probably like 2014. It was some weird thing like line of sight that I got from like a Discovery Channel store or something. Like something really like horrible. Then I had those little teeny weeny ones that you can just, the little cheap ones.
Yeah.
And it was all right. So, but I'm really bad with years and days. Like I seriously never know what year it is, but, I worked at Pandora for a few years. I'm a designer. Like that's a whole other story because I quit my job and now I'm doing this kind of full time.
Yeah. I want to start that too.
Yeah. But I worked at Pandora, and then my boss was into FPV. I never heard of it before, and I used to race my little RC car. So I had this like drifter car, and I put a GoPro on it, and I would make little moves and stuff. And then he's like, "Oh, GoPro RC." He's like, "Have you heard of FPV?" And I'm like, "No." So he took me like a conference room. He gave me goggles with like a tiny whoop, and I couldn't fly it at all. But I was kind of bored with RC like cars. You can only do so much with it. So I kind of looked into getting an FPV drone, and then after that I was like hooked, like super hard.
Yeah, it does. It hooks you. I find as soon as you fly it once, as soon as it's the first time you really get it and you fly, you're like, oh shit. And that's also the most dangerous time for FPVs because that's also the most expensive. You all of a sudden you're like, start buying everything. Yeah, which absolutely it gets really real. Absolutely. But no, I dig the content, but I think more importantly is I dig the artwork. You've got some incredible art. You got a store too where people can buy things too, right?
Yeah, I try to keep small batches. So when I make stuff, I announce it in my video and it usually gets sold out. Like
I see that. I can't believe
same time.
But
Yeah.
this art is really eclectic and like it's something that I've never seen anywhere, but it's really
thank you.
super unique.
Thank you.
So we'll make sure, like, we'll have a link in the description below if you want to check out Zoro's artwork after the show. Go ahead, check it out. But like, seriously, when I say it sells out fast as shit, as soon as he puts a video, I'm like, oh, it's gone. Never mind. Fuck it.
Yeah, it really is. I'm so happy about that. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, art has always been really special to me, and I don't want to make it into a chore. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy doing it when I feel like doing it, and you know, So that's just one of the little things that
So
I do.
Your logo is really cool, man. I like it.
It
Oh,
is.
thanks, Paul.
Really nice of it.
I like his logo too, and you designed your logo too, right?
Yeah. I did it like when I first started. I was like, I just need something, just.
But it sort of
basic.
sticks. It looks good. You know, it looks better than half the shit people pay for. So
Yeah, no,
that's pretty good though.
I appreciate it.
You went full time recently.
Yeah,
You have how many subscribers right now?
I'm almost at 11,000. I'm like 10,000.
Okay, that is absolutely
900.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Amazing.
That is amazing. So
Thank you.
talk to me a little bit about that, because I think a lot of times, like most influencers, like myself, I work a full-time job. I work 40 hours a week plus do YouTube and all this other shit. But I'm, everybody has this allure that they want to go full-time, and that's the dream. So how's it been so far for you?
So I went full-time drone flying, right? Okay. I mean, the YouTube thing is just a thing. Like, I don't monetize my videos. I like to use my own music. I like to, I don't care if people like it or don't like it. Like, I mean, sure, it's nice to know that people do watch, and especially with my subscribers, like all the comments, I know the people. Like, I feel like it's close to the community.
Community.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. You posted a poll about.
Yeah, I asked
having.
What would you rather have? Would you rather have 100,000 subscribers with barely any interaction,
right?
Or 20,000 subscribers with shit tons of interaction?
I think about that all the time, because like when you do have, like, say you have like 500,000, like, how do you keep track of
how do you know people? How do you know people? I see that all the time. People say, you would grow faster if you didn't curse as much, or you'd grow faster if you didn't go off on people in the comment section. And maybe that's true, but if they can't handle me at my worst, I don't want them at my best.
Right. There's a certain type of person that I've noticed throughout that the type of people that don't like my content is the kind of people that I wouldn't like interact with anyways, like super uptight, whatever. So the people that watch me and enjoy what I do is like, we click because we're of the same mindset. Like, you know what I mean? We're creative, we love, we're really nice. Like, I'm a lover, but, we're also like outside of the box, and I don't have to fit into this box that you want to watch. Like, go watch fucking Disney Channel. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. And that's where I'm at with people. Is like, there's a channel, there's somebody for everybody, and that's what makes YouTube absolutely amazing.
I know, it's true.
So you went out.
Oh yeah.
And you bought the FPV drone. So you went out.
So okay. So
story, man.
A couple months ago, somebody hit me up, and they're like, so I got fired from a job, actually, right?
Okay.
So, and, but like, I knew it was coming. I was like I've been doing UX UI design and like traditional graphic design for 20 years. So I'm kind of over the bullshit thing. So somebody hit me up that I used to work with. His wife worked at this production company, and then he did some drone work for PBS. And I was like, oh shit. You're right. So, but I didn't have my 107 yet. So I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't have my 107. So I talked to the lady. Okay, cool, let's do it. And I was like, oh shit, I think I hit you up too, because they wrote in the email that they don't want to use ND filters, and I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get? Yeah, anyways, so that was a whole other thing. But so I got my 107 the day before I was supposed to actually go on the shoot. So I made it by like this, and. So then I'm doing drone shit. I was like, oh shit. So I had I have a Mavic Air 2 and FPV drones, right? So I feel pretty covered. I have a Cinewhoop, I have all that stuff. I went to the shoot, went great. It was like a whole new experience. I loved it. But now it's kind of left me with, and I've gone through like 5-6 jobs since then. So now I'm getting the hang of, I see how like things work. And I don't need anything. I'm good. Yeah. Sorry, my wife. So So then I was thinking, okay, well, when I'm out on these jobs, I'm always flying a Mavic and I'm flying an FPV drone. What if I could get, like, I was thinking about the FPV, the DJI FPV drone, and to me, it sounded like it was a Mavic, but you could flip a switch and turn it into FPV quad. I was like, oh, dude, that might be great for my use case. I watched a whole bunch of, like, my peers in FPV not like it, and I get it, because I'm like, yeah, you're trying to rip with it, but it's obviously like a more intelligent system. So maybe you just have to, like, you know, be flowy with it and get some shots that you can't get on a Mavic. So that's why I got it. And I got it, and it was not that at all. And it wasn't a Mavic at all, but it wasn't an FPV drone at all either. So it was a really awkward, like, weird experience. Thank God for Best Buy. I returned it.
You did return it.
Yeah. I got an Air 2S. And
okay.
Yeah.
You know, I here's the thing. I think you're going to be a lot happier with the Air 2S.
Yeah.
I think for like what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
I think that the Air 2S is an amazing drone. I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's too many compromises. I honestly don't see any compromise with the Air 2S.
Nah.
Compromise in what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the problem is,
yeah,
like,
it's a great.
GPS pilots are fickle fucks, man.
Well, they're always comparing it. You know, they want the new Mavic 3 Pro essentially.
Right.
Sure.
So that's what they wanted. They didn't want
Yeah.
The reality is the equipment doesn't create the product that's delivered. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not what delivers that.
Mhm.
But that's the problem is most of the people don't get that shit.
Yeah.
They don't
And
get
yeah, and the Mavic 2, I've watched so many videos. I always watch your videos. You're like one of the first non-FPV drone guys that I watch regularly.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I usually, for some reason, it times out that I watch you in the shower. I don't know why. But I walked in the shower. I have the phone propped up, and you're blasting, and then I want, like,
you know what's really funny? I told him the same thing. I do the same thing at night. Like, I make use of my time. I put my phone up there in the little cutout part of the shower, and I'll play a video and just, you know, you make use of good time.
Dude, it's the best.
That's also the reason why I sit when I pee, though, just to be clear, is like so I can make good use of my time. If you're standing, you don't get as much done as when you're sitting.
Yes, although because I also sit down when I pee, I end up peeing for half an hour. Well, I mean, I'm not peeing for half an hour, but I'm sitting there. It's like a mini poop.
Exactly. It's like you know, I start twooping, but it's not actually twooping. We just went down a hole, literally.
Yeah. Maybe a couple times, or.
But you know, it's. I try to maximize my time. It's the same reason my wife she'll yell at me all the time. She's like, "How come every time it is you get in your car and you start driving, you got to be on the phone with somebody?" I'm like, because I don't like to talk to people when I'm doing something. So when I'm not doing something and I'm static for a while, now's the time that I'm going to talk to people.
Yeah.
That's true. He does do that. He'll be like,
I do that.
I gotta go. I'm pulling him to this thing. See you later, bro. Bye.
I just used you, Paul.
Yeah, I watched you guys in the shower today, both of you with your sweaty goggles, which I can understand. I don't like to give people my goggles if I'm sweaty.
Dude, he's so sweaty though. I mean, when I say
we reached a whole nother level, you know.
When I say, like, you know, I don't really sweat when I fly. Like, does that make sense? I don't really sweat when I fly.
Not when I'm flying. Yes.
When I grabbed those goggles, they were like a damn sponge of Paul cesspool.
Yeah, but you're a lean guy, and we're fluffier, and so when we're walking up,
that's the word I was looking for.
We're walking up to the spot, right? We have a backpack on. It's hot already, right? Our cholesterol is heating up inside, and we start sweating. By the time we're flying, then we're sweating because our body's trying to cool down all the heat from our insulation. So
Eddie was right. I was also very nervous. I knew that I was gonna just kill this drone. I knew it.
And you're being recorded on top of that. I mean, come on.
Well, you know, the recording thing.
I wanted the goggle view. I can't believe we didn't get that.
That's my fault for not having the goggles connected. That was totally my fault for not doing that. You know what it was? I wasn't initially going to hand him over the RC, but then I was like, you know what? We're here. What the hell? What could go wrong?
Yeah.
You know.
I think a good idea would be.
Oh no, we weren't. There's a giant tree right in front of us. Okay.
The only thing I might do different is to have them like try hovering a little bit, like before, like line of sight, just so you can kind of understand like how much does what. But when you start flying, first of all, like that's what got me so hooked on it because the controls were so bizarre to me. I'm like, okay, so if you do left and right, you're turning this way, and this is like up and down. It took me so long to wrap my head around it. I was constantly on simulators. Like I was day and night hooked on simulators, trying to get into my muscle memory. That was like my biggest hurdle. You know what I mean? It was like the biggest
And that's
challenge.
what I'm gonna be. My next door neighbor actually has an extra drone controller, and he's gonna give it to me and let me plug it up and test some simulator time. Because, after that the other day, I just I had to. I need more.
I started on level mode, and I know everybody's like, don't do level, do acro only, and I'm like, I want to know what it feels like to fly first, and then like I'll get into acro. And but this was even before people would like throw potatoes at me, or tomatoes more. Like people don't like getting into it with horizon or level mode, because then you learn the wrong way
people
of
were
controlling it.
telling us in the
But
comments, and
it
we were
gives
like,
you an
no,
idea.
we gotta.
It gives you a pretty good idea. Yeah.
I didn't want to start him off with bad habits, because I know like when I started flying, I was feeling really confident, but I didn't realize like at the time they had it in level mode, and as soon as they threw that shit into to acro, I was like, oh shit, I didn't want any part of that, and I was very turned off by it.
Yeah, that's true. It can happen.
As soon as I gave acro a shot, like when I first started flying, I had no intention on doing freestyle. Like I didn't care at all. I didn't care. Like that's not what I was about. But now I'm just sort of like, shit, I'm addicted to it.
It's so fun. It's so fun. And watching your footage and like, being like getting better is like super exciting. It's one of the funnest things.
Watching it too. It's in person. It's so much better than just even me just wearing a pair of goggles and watching him fly next to him was just way more exciting than it was just watching it on YouTube. I don't know. There's something about
it. You feel like it's the only thing that can give you the ability to fly as a human being. Like you're fully able to fly. And it's also really trips me out. Okay, I take a lot of psychedelics and stuff, so I'm a little weird with it. But when I first did it and I looked at myself in the goggles, I'm like, it's so weird because your consciousness is on the drone. Right. I mean, like your body's sitting there and you can't really like do much, right? You're kind of like stuck there. But then like your being is in this drone, and you have like, it's just a weird extension of yourself. Like it's the only thing I think that you can put your consciousness into, and then you can go off into different like.
I was amazed that Ken could talk to me like he was while I was sitting next to him. Because I was like, man, he was gripping it and flew through trees, and he was just like,
couldn't see it. You couldn't see it. Like my head, though, I was like,
I did see you. You were like, you're Stevie wondering a little bit, but you're doing good.
I don't know why that happens. Like
it's so weird.
Fly, but I stand too. Like when I fly, like I can't sit down. Like when I stand, I move my leg for some reason. So like my leg will move with my movements, but my head will stand still. But yeah,
I don't like standing. I can lean, I'll sit, but I get so into it. Like I tell myself, okay, this is just a screen. Like I just can't disassociate. And I always feel, I mean, I've flown standing up, but I always feel like I have to balance myself constantly, and it's distracting. Like I don't feel like I could just immerse myself into what's happening.
I have had that a couple times. I've taken a step, like a step a little bit too far. And all of a sudden, like if I'm doing something like a roll into another flip or something, I'll get like disoriented, and I have to catch myself because I'm like, oh shit, I'm going over. But I mean that happens though. I mean that happens.
You be sitting down. It's kind of like the same thing.
But you know what it is? It's just it's awkward to have that controller in my lap, though. I think that's the problem. It's just awkward to have that controller in my lap and to sit there and try to, pinch to get what I need. Yeah.
I don't pinch. I've never won a lanyard either, not once.
Really?
There's nothing wrong with it. I've never done it. I don't pinch. I'm a thumber.
Okay. So I'm usually a thumber when I wear when I do the regular drones, but I found with that left, stick being like just so free like that, I feel like I have to pinch with this to be able to have full control. I feel like I wouldn't trust myself with a thumb to be able to kind of keep pushing it. I don't know. How to
I
explain that.
tried thumbing. You know, maybe I could. Are you a thumber or a pincher, Zoro?
I'm a
He's a
thumber.
thumber.
You're a thumber. Okay.
I'm a
Yeah,
dirty
I don't
thumber.
know. I just can't. I try, and it's just not.
Yeah, you should try to thumb. Thumbing is kind of like the dumber way, I think. I'm so comfortable with it that when I do try to get to the pitch thing, I just feel really restricted. Like, I don't know, it makes me feel weird. But also, I've flown a few places like earlier in my career where I've been super nervous and my thumbs were kind of twitchy. And I'd be like, oh shit, you can like hear in the quads, like, like just being like super sketched out. So that's why like you do have more control pinching. For me, I don't know. It's just, I don't.
Honestly, I don't think it really matters. It just matters what
it
you
doesn't. Yeah, it's whatever you're comfortable with.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, but I think that's also the allure for a lot of people with the DJI FPV drone. But I think a lot of people are going to butt up into the same situation that you found, is that it just, I don't know, in anything other than manual, I don't feel like it's a good experience. That's just my my experience personally.
Yeah. In manual, I found it disturbingly sloppy and underpowered.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, okay, so it's not working the Mavic way. The problem that I had is that quality-wise, it was fine, right? Although, I mean, it is better to have a 1-inch sensor with a Air 2, but having a 1-axis gimbal and having the sway left and right, like it picked up on all the swing in all the modes, right? I didn't like that. In FPV, you can like, it makes more sense. You can actually like roll with stuff. That's fine. Although you don't do that all the time. You know, there are times where you want it to be level, but I found it like really underpowered in that I knew that it was really fragile, so I didn't want to like just rip with it because I knew I would, if like I tapped anything, it would be over. So that's what just left me like, dude, I was really, really excited. People are commenting, and I love making videos where people get triggered, but they're like,
that's the drone to do it.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. They're like, oh, you did it on purpose. You could tell, like, because you were laughing in the beginning, dude. I was so excited. I went to your Etsy store, Ken, and I had in my cart like $500 worth of shit, and I was like, oh, dude, I want the feet, I want the battery fucking cover, I printed myself like the little gimbal guards because for me. I was going to buy hella batteries to just have that be my drone for everything. And I was so excited about it. And then I flew it. I was like, what the fuck? It was really, really strange. I didn't like it at all.
But that was my experience too. Like when I first flew it, I was sort of like, wait, what the fuck? But again, that's me coming from flying something like an Apex with KISS and just like, I have a certain expectation in my mind. And then I flew it. I was like, wait a second, this is not what it should be. Like, this is the leader in drones. Like, we should be getting a top-notch experience, and I felt like it wasn't. But now the more I fly it, like, I sort of know what I can and can't get away with it, if that makes sense. Like, it does certain things really well, but then it does other things like just terribly. Just absolutely terribly.
Would you use it in one of your professional shoots or videos? Could you see that?
I did actually do it in one. I forced it. It was a house that shouldn't have had any sort of FPV, but it only worked because the drone I used on the exterior was the Mavic Air 2. So I was able to match decent-alike to decent-alike. So it worked in that instance, but it took so much effort to get good color out of that camera. Yeah. My problem is, my biggest gripe with this is, I get it. Like, a lot of people use GoPros professionally, and like they get amazing footage out of GoPros. Yes. But a GoPro is very, very flexible because you can use real steady. You can get good color. I mean, it's workable.
Hyper smooth in camera.
In camera. But this is not that. So you have to be very, very like deliberate with whatever it is that you're shooting. What I do find this does well at is like long range. Like when I was flying in the mountains. If I wanted to send this long range and I was getting out of my comfort zone with it, this bitch was coming back to me, no problem. Yeah. And I wasn't like in fear that, oh shit, I'm going to lose the drone.
Right.
As to where with Crossfire, you got the range, but do you really know how far it can go before it's going to fail safe? You really don't have there's not a lot of safeguards.
Mhm.
With at least with this, you do have some safeguards, but you have to be within your realm of the drone's capability.
Yeah.
The realm of the drone's capability, which is pretty limited at this point.
Yeah. You should get Return to Home for your quads. They have it. You can
I'm
totally do
gonna
it.
add it to a few of them. Like I'm usually like proximity. Like most of
Yeah,
the stuff I'm
too.
flying is like I'm trying to keep it as light as possible. I'm breaking the shit on the daily. But I think for my long range stuff, I will add GPS. I did add GPS one time to a quad. I don't know what happened, but I wasn't close enough or further enough away. But anyways, either way, the drone just felt fucking dive bombed. Smashed into a million pieces in the woods.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was like me searching for a black box.
Yeah. I made a Diatone 4-inch long range quad a couple of videos ago because they send me like quads to try out and make videos for. And I took it and I went towards the San Francisco like Bay Bridge just because it's so open and it'd be kind of cool. And like, dude, I don't know how far, but it wasn't very far, and he was just like dive bombed into the water. See that I don't mind if you want to send me a quad and you want to test it. I'll maiden it over water all day long.
Like if you sit there and you build it, like. If you build it, it's painful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or if you have a Hero 9, you have like, oh, dude, it's such a drag. Yeah.
It's very, very painful. Like if I sat there and I built something, I spent like 2 hours on it, and all of a sudden, like now, it's in the water or something. I think that's the most painful thing.
Or
I mean,
Producer Paul crashed into a tree or something.
Or that, yeah. Well, that I wasn't really mad about that because I had full intention on taking that quad apart and rebuilding it. I needed to. I'm very much a stickler with all my drones. I want them all to be the same.
Yeah, I have 2 identical quads as well. Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean I've had so many kinds of different quads, but it is nice. Like once you kind of like a setup, it's good to just keep that, just clone it and.
Yeah, I think the people that like will buy multiple quads or like I don't know how any reviewer can actually progress because you're flying so much different shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I see that like guys that I've been watching for years, and they're just like sort of still stuck in like I don't know, like twitchy mode, and it's just because I think it's really because they fly so many different drones, they just don't have a chance to get accustomed to it, and this is more. This is more of a job. I don't want it to be like that for me at least.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's how I am.
Also, an anomaly about me, one of the many, is that I've flown for like 4 and whatever years, and I have only built one quad in my life. Huh. I mean, I've repaired thousands of times, but I've like building one from scratch. I've only built one, and I did it really for a video. I didn't really care to do it.
That is
it was turning
of information.
Yeah, it was turning me off, and I'm friends with all my homies like Bog Grinder. Nobody ever talks shit about me not building drones because that's the stance I wanted to take from the start. It's like I wanted to see what I could do without needing to. I had so many friends so frustrated when they were building quads. I'm like, I don't want that experience. I want to just. I just want to buy it, and it has all the stuff that I want, and I can exchange stuff. Like if I don't like the motors, I'll change them. I'll change the ESCs, whatever. Like I can build one no problem because like I know what all the components are. Especially with like DJI now, it's like super easy. But I would if somebody has like put something together that I really like as a package. And it's like tuned properly, then fine. Yeah, let me try it out. And if I like it, I'll roll with it for a while.
Well, I think people miss that point too. Is that when you're starting out, you don't have to build a you don't have to build a quad. There's so many great pre-built quads. You just have to find one that fits your specs.
Yeah. Also,
are you a digital shoot or do you fly digital?
Yeah, I do. I was analog for the longest time, and I finally did it, and I got rid of all my analog stuff. Like, there's no going back for me. Once I saw how it's how the experience should have been from the very start. When I started, I'm like, why is the picture so shitty again? Like it looks like like a tube TV, and it's like rolling and shit. So I get it latency wise, but now that we have this, there's like no reason you can fly more confidently. It's actually safer,
I think it is. Like for the latency factor, maybe it's just me, but I really don't notice the latency.
Me either.
Maybe that's just me. I know a lot of people are really against DJI, just because of who they are. But like, I look at it this way: I don't give a fuck. We're all gonna go. We all have the same fate, no matter who we are. So I'm just gonna enjoy shit now. So I want to, just enjoy it, for what it is.
Yeah.
And
whatever floats your boat. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Yeah, but here's the thing. Let's be honest here. When something new comes out, if you don't have the money or the means to get it, you're gonna shit on it because you don't have it. I mean, that's just the reality.
I do see that a lot in FPV. Is that people don't either they don't want to spend the money for it because let's face it, the DJI FPV goggles aren't cheap. They're like $500. Then you need to buy an air unit. Then you got to make sure your frame could work with it. So now, like in some instances, it's uprooting your entire ecosystem. Yeah, that's a pain. That's sort of a pain in the ass. So I get that, but I'll tell you, like I had analog. I started on analog, and I flew it as much and as hard as I possibly could. But as soon as I got a set of DJI goggles and I started flying this shit, I was like, oh damn! It gave me a whole new level of confidence. Yeah, like to see things and some people say, oh, you fly better on analog, or analog makes you a better pilot. I don't think that's the case. No, I feel like you're a little more gun shy with analog than you would be if you can see. Imagine if you can see everything and you're just like a crystal clear, perfect driver. To me, that right there is where it's at. So
yeah. Why wouldn't you? It's for me, it's the same analogy as if you had like an old school tube TV, and then you had a huge like plasma TV, and then you're like, no, I don't want the plasma TV. Like shit looks better on the tube TV. It's like, no, it actually does look better on the other. Like what? No matter what, it looks better on the other. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes people. It's just like you said, it's just sometimes people want to gripe because they don't want to spend the money for it. At the end of the day, you can either buy it cheap and you're going to spend the money twice, or buy it the first time and, you're not out for it. That's my philosophy on things with FPV.
Yeah, but there's also the other people, the ones like when I shat on the DJI FPV drone, which are hating because they bought this thing that cost a lot of money, and if you're shitting on it, then they're like, "Fuck you." Those
are the blind bias. That's the blind bias I like to call it, like because they're loyal to a brand, but they don't understand why they're loyal. They also have to justify their purchase, and they're also the type of person that's probably flown the drone a couple of times. They've been pretty timid, and they're flying it, and they get that really quick. Exhilaration because, oh my god, I got the goggles on, I did a flight, I didn't crash it, it's amazing. But that's not really what it's about. Like, I mean, honestly, I fly this thing like I fucking stole it from Best Buy, and if it survives, it survives. That's like every time I boot it up, that's my thought is like, if it makes it past this flight, that's cool. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
Isn't it like kind of worth it if you're just getting into FPV to go ahead and buy the FPV drone just to get the goggles essentially, and then you on the side you get a drone you could kind of learn with?
That is one way to look at it, because the goggles are $500 by themselves, right? They're $500 by themselves. You're another $500 for a drone, but my issue is the FPV drone teaches you bad habits. I think by itself. It teaches you bad habits. I already see it in the comments. People will be like, well, how come you didn't take off in normal mode? Well, I didn't take off in normal mode because there's fucking acro mode. Like, why am I going to take off and then have to like set it? Like, that's not how shit works. But that's also the reason why I really don't fly it unless I'm looking for a very specific thing. Unless I'm looking for something very specific, I'm going to fly my built quads. I mean, that's just what flies better for me.
Oh my god, it's so much fun! It's
really
you can't. Yeah, you just have full control. It's fine, and I think that one thing that can be really good about this drone is that it can introduce people to FPV.
Sure,
and it can also get the FPV word out. But in the same token, anyone can now fly semi FPV, and like
you've already seen stupid shit with
this. Bro, I've seen some shit where I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Dude was over Six Flags, right?
Oh, yeah, because of you in the shower. Yeah, I went. I think you took this video down. It's always shower related, dude. I don't know what it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
something we don't know about here.
it's all work, man. I keep it clean.
I get, yeah.
But I think you took that video down, and I wanted to watch it.
You know,
and,
he needed to take it down. I urged him to take it down just because, like, dude, like you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Like the FAA is gonna see that or something. You're over a theme park. Clearly, that's open. It's operational. There's roller coasters going. You're not that all that of a pilot. You're just not. But that's the thing is, like, I'm in a lot of these groups, and I'm mostly silent in a lot of these groups because I don't need to interact with these fuckers. I interact here, but I'll watch and see stuff, and I'm just like, for me, like Facebook groups are one big circle jerk, anyways.
Totally.
But yeah, I see some stupid shit all the time with it. But I mean, responsibility is the pilot's burden, and
yes.
I just see stupid shit from people constantly, which is it's unfortunate. It's just fucking. It's unfortunate.
There's a dangerous moment in FPV when you can start flying, but you're not quite good. Like I watched some of my old videos. I'm like, whoa! I knew at that moment. There was like, I was doing something and I know that I have no control. I just wait to see where the drone takes me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't crash, and keep going. And that's a really dangerous place. And I think the more you start learning, like now I'm really safe when I fly. I take things into consideration when I fly. I don't just like go out and.
But I feel that though, because when I didn't know, I would do things that now I go back and look at. I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have did that. But now it's like, I have a little bit more control. I understand the timing of the quad, so I can put it into some positions that maybe I wouldn't have previously. But then there's a part of me that's also like, I don't know. Like when I was in Atlanta this past week, there was nobody. Everybody went to Rotor Riot's Rampage, and I was gonna go. But then I saw the price of the tickets and everything, and I'm like, okay, I can go as a spectator, but that's stupid. Like, I'm gonna sit around like I want to fly, and I'm gonna pay like $100 to sit there and watch. Why? Like, I don't know.
I went last year, but they paid for me to come out there and paint and stuff and hang out. And I don't like flying with a lot of people.
I don't either.
Because you have to wait and what channel and all this bullshit. And I don't really care to, you know what I mean? It's not that, I don't know. A lot of people are like super excited to fly with other people, but I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it's cool to fly like with somebody else.
With people, but not
me too.
With people. You know what I mean? Like taking
not with a lot of people.
Like three or four people to me is like is a good time. Like, I'll usually fly with like my buddy Mihop, and him and I he's on analog, I'm on digital. So like we just make sure we're not killing each other's channel.
Yeah.
But that's usually a good time. Like we have a good enough amount of respect for each other that we give ourselves enough of space. But there's some people, they just don't care. They'll plug in. They don't, there's just no respect level. And they'll stomp all over you. And then it's just a really bad time.
Yeah. Now, when you're flying with somebody else, I fly with my homie all the time. Like I have a couple of friends that I fly with, and we'll look out for each other. Like, we'll take turns sometimes and, look out for each other if it's kind of sketchy or whatever. It's just it's good. When it's like that, it's like the best time ever. FPV is super dope.
FPV is more fun when you are with somebody else, and especially like when they're riding along in the goggles with you. That's so cool. So that way, they can sort of see and feel like what you like. You share that experience. I mean, that's one thing that's awesome about analog is like everybody can just sort of, ride along essentially and have a great time, but you don't really get that same feeling a lot of times with digital, which sort of sucks. I did see they did put out the application for Android though. DigiView. Have you seen that? So they have an app out. It's called DigiView. Anyways, you can now output the screen display to any device that's an Android device.
Oh yeah. Like the video out for DJI.
Yeah.
I'm on iOS. I don't have that.
Yeah, I am too. But Google sent me this Pixel, and I was like, well, you know what? I'll
second screen.
I'll throw it up on there, and I'll like, so if somebody's sitting there and they want to check it out, they can check it out. Or if you want to live stream it, you can fucking live stream it. I'm like, that's actually pretty dope. I should have did that when I was up north, but I was saying, like Atlanta I was sort of bummed out because I went to a lot of these spots and you know, like I don't think people understand is like when you go to a spot, it can be overwhelming because you're not familiar with it. And if you're solo, like I had my daughter with me, and she was looking out, but I'm also concerned. Like, all right, we're in some sketchy areas here. I'm like, I don't want to like get jacked and like she's in the car. You know, it's like
yeah.
I have to be mindful of that. But I must have got kicked out of like 4 spots. Almost immediately as soon as I put the goggles on, armed the first time, people were like, "You got to go." I'm like, well, damn, that was fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of sucked. But then I saw everybody went to Atlanta anyways after Rampage.
Yeah, Atlanta is the hot spot for sure. I think on my way to last year's Rampage, I stopped.
You drove to Rampage?
Well, I flew and then I drove because I wanted to go to the place from Stranger Things. That was like a dream of mine because they always go fly there. Like Steele and all the Atlanta folks, they used to like fly there a lot. And it's the main place from Stranger Things, the lab, whatever it's called. Forgot it's been too many years. But there's like a main like lab that they work in and shit. And I went to it and it was taped off because it was only for like crew to come in and out and nobody was there. But that's where like, it was set up for filming kind of. So I took my tiny whoop and I went all through the hallways. I have the video and like I looked left and right. Like I would go down the hallway and look at this room and like go inside and like look around. And it was like shit from the show, dude. It was so dope. Cool. But yeah, it was pretty neat. But Atlanta is the spot.
It really is. I mean, I can see why. Like just driving around the city, there was a lot of spots. But I feel like if I had like somebody else with me, I probably would have stopped more. You know, I usually keep like, it's funny. I usually keep like, when I go fly, I'll keep like, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks on me, like in tens. Because what I'll do is like, when security rolls up, I'll be like, hey, I give them like, hey, 10 bucks. I start with 10. And if 10 doesn't work, I'll be like 20. If 20 don't work, my cap is 30 per spot. But usually 10 works. Usually 10 works. And they're like, hey, I didn't see you here. Because they're all like,
that's awesome.
They're not real, like they're like, hired security, so they don't really give a shit doing their job. But you throw them a little coin, all of a sudden like their tune changes. Let me tell you, in Atlanta, that shit wasn't working. They were like, I need you off this fucking property.
Quit trying to bribe me.
I'm like, oh, so it's like that. I was like, okay. Tampa though, $10 goes a long freaking way.
Really?
Yeah, $10 goes a long way.
I never tried that. I should do it. I've had security come out. I was flying a spot with my friend, and then we showed the security guard what the drones are and stuff, and he was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And he went in and he brought us out fucking snacks and like sodas.
Dude, that's awesome. You got some great people over there, man.
Yeah. California, man.
In Florida, we got to deal with Karens, old people, and the occasional wannabe, bounty hunter.
Yeah.
That's what we got down here. That's what we got here. We get people, they'll lose their mind, dude. They'll lose their mind. There's this one spot I fly, like, if there's always like, there's never a car in the parking lot, but there's somebody inside. I think it's a janitor, and he'll just come out and he's losing his damn mind on me. And he can't see me because I'm hiding behind a tree type of thing. But he's just, I'm flying all around him, just like, he's losing his mind, though. I'm waiting for him one day to come out with like a bucket of water or something. That's gonna make it.
Yeah, with a broomstick, he's gonna get you down.
Broomstick, whack me like a bird, Oh shit, though. But yeah, man. I'm digging your channel. I'm digging the content. Quick question though: if you could fly with anybody, who is your favorite pilot right now?
That's really funny. I know everybody. They're like my homies, so there isn't like any person that I haven't flown with that I would like in the FPV world, I guess.
Let me ask you it like this then, because I think this is a fair question to ask. Whose style do you enjoy? Like you can sit there and like you watch, you're like, oh fuck, I vibe.
Oh, okay. So Steel to me, because he's like the first FPV video I've ever seen, right?
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. It was like a video where he was like slapping up stickers with his drone.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That was the
like
first one I ever saw of him too.
Yeah, same here. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? This is nuts. So, and then I finally met him, and I was like, I have the video where I met him and shit, and now like we're cool and shit. But to me, and then he started flying really erratically. Like there was this period where he started flying like nonstop, like flips and rolls, and everybody was like, I can't stand watching Steel. And then like it went through this like period, there's all these periods, and then it went through a period where it was kind of chilling out, but I can just watch him fly. Like when he does, his videos are pretty much, the same lately, where he's just like doing a talk over like his flight. But and it's not like an edited video where it's like a complete package with like cool music and shit. But it's raw, so. Yeah, it's raw, and to me that's really fun to watch because he will like do this thing here and this thing here, and he's like, oh shit, screaming and stuff. So to me, that's still like super exciting to watch because it inspires me. Like I want to go out and just.
I envy those videos though. I envy I watch a lot of these.
How easy,
and they just don't give a shit. Probably one of my favorite pilots right now. It's crazy though because like you talk about YouTube, like a lot of people like they look up to these channels. They have, I don't know, 100,000 subscribers. Yeah. And I'm over here I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I like Slat FPV. Like to me, I love his style.
Me too. Where did he come from, by the way? Like all of a sudden he was there and I'm like, what?
Great. He's fucking great, dude. I love his videos.
He's good.
He's just super, super chill. I could watch his stuff. Like today I was like, man, how come nobody's reviewed these Zing 2 motors? I'm like, nobody's looked at these motors. And then I'm like, oh, Slat reviewed them. So I'm sitting there watching the video, and I was sort of like you. I'm taking a shit, watching it. I'm like, this is the best content ever.
Yeah. No, he's really, really good. I really enjoy stuff. Yeah, no, totally. If I had to choose somebody that I would like have the best time with, like if I could just choose anyone, it would be Bot because we have fun together, and it would, we're both kind of like messy. We'll do like weird shit, and it's just funner that way.
I feel like better content. I feel like you and him have very similar like sort of quirks. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, like he's one of my really good friends. Actually, he's such a great guy. We have similar interests.
His style's very interesting. Like it's I can't put my finger on it. It's like a juicy sort of style, but it's
like free wreck. Yeah,
almost like quads driving him type of thing. And he's just, like, sort of like, hey, I need you over here for a second. Like, that's what I feel like when I watch.
It's like messy chic is how I would call it.
Messy chic. I like it.
Yeah. There's style to it, but it's also like messy. Like it's not perfect, but it's perfect for, for his style for sure.
Have you got a chance to fly with him yet?
With Bot?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I made a few times. Yeah. We were in that. I don't know if you've ever seen the Rotor Riot.
Yeah, I saw that where he did the
movie, corkscrew. The Bot Grinder movie.
Yeah, the FPV corkscrew.
Yeah, the corkscrew thing.
That was you in that video. Yeah, I don't think dude correlate that. Like he did a stint with Rotor Riot. I think it's cool though. I think the whole FPV world is so eclectic and unique because like for us like. The smaller the creator, the more talent. Sometimes it prevails. It's just it's a whole unique world, and essentially, I love.
There was a split into time, and for people that weren't aware of it at the time, there was Rotor Riot was like it was one of the first things that you saw of like a lifestyle FPV of like what it's really like, and it started off with like all the favorites like. Steel and oh my god and Stingy and like everybody that was there. It had this kind of like bad, not bad, but like this kind of like we don't care. We're just gonna like fly and have fun, and it was very free and kind of like underground a little bit and like really cool. And then some changes happened within. And it became like what it is today is the very vanilla like version. Like if you go back and watch some old ones with the original cast, it was badass. And now, I mean, I know times change and things change. There's, that's fine. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing, but
I sort of feel like they go through the motion. Like Drew seems like a nice guy. everybody seems like a nice
comment.
guy, but on the surface, I think people like the content's only skin deep, and it's just all right. We're going through the motions today.
Well, it's for everybody now. It's like for somebody that's new, introducing them, and like, here's what this is, and it's like, this is a drone, and we fly it freestyle. It's like the same thing over and over and over because of new people.
Sort of the Logan Paul of FPV at this point.
Maybe even a little more vanilla. Yeah. But it could have been really badass. It could have been like something that was very, I don't know, like.
I don't agree. I don't agree. Like now, like FPVs obviously it's not for everybody. I know the FPV drones helped a lot of people determine whether or not they want to go this. But I still feel like there's a sort of respect factor you have to gain. Like you have to really like I think Paul, like when we were flying the other day and I was showing him, I think he sort of got it. He was like, oh shit, this could be really dangerous. This is not like a Mavic. This is not like anything I've ever played with. This can fuck me up type of thing. He got that. Like as soon as he heard the motor's arm, he's like, is that thing gonna cut me? Well, yeah, if I pull back, it's gonna fuck you up, man.
Yeah, and it's full manual. Like you don't have a chance to, pause or any of that shit. But that's what's so good about it. And once you have the hang of it, like you could be in a situation when you're tumbling like 100 miles an hour and like catch yourself and fly off. You know what I mean? Like you do have more control in a way where when something's kind of like has a mind of its own, if it starts fucking up, like you're done. Like there's no saving it or anything. So you have greater control, but you definitely can fuck some shit up for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Zoroe, dude, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're like probably one of the few people that I've been wanting to have on the show for a little bit to chat with. So glad we got a chance to catch up. Guys, link for Zoro's channel and store will be in the description. When the show's over, we usually update everything because that's just sort of how StreamYards works. We'll make sure everything's updated. So go check it out. If you haven't subscribed to Zoroe, go ahead and do that. If you don't subscribe to him, he doesn't give a shit whether you watch it or not. No. But if you do watch, subscribers for me. At least say hello and all that good shit. So,
appreciate it, homie. Thank you so much for having me on.
Peace, man.
All right, you guys. Bye.
Whoa, what is that? Is that a freaking bat?
What? There's a bat.
Holy Jesus.
There's a bat.
Dude, what the freak?
Look at this guy.
I am done.
Zoroe, dude, is a good guy, dude. Good dude. So let's catch up with the chat here. So really quick. JMO, I did see your message. I'll have to swing over. So JMO lives pretty close to me. I'll have to swing over and help you. What I'll do is maybe I'll boot up my goggles and sort of walk through the menu to try to figure out how we can get that over into English. It's hard to walk through it if you don't know where it's at. But if I have two sets of goggles, at least I know what it means in Mandarin, and then we can convert it over to English. So we'll get that figured out. Yeah, man, I'm pretty much, that's pretty cool.
That was great.
That was a good show. Paul, you were pretty silent though.
I mean, silent. I was pretty. Actually, I feel like I was more engaged in this FPV talk than I ever been.
Well, I think now you have a little experience, Paul. You have a little experience.
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna let's go rip it again.
Well, no, I think we're gonna take a different approach this time. We're gonna do like a Cinewhoop or something, like a little more low key. I'm gonna have you hover a little more line of sight. We gotta get that throttle. You need to spend some time in the simulator, Paul.
Yeah, that's my goal. I'm gonna spend some time in the simulator for sure.
Yeah.
And
throttle control, throttle management is what you need.
Well, like I said, the reason why I crashed is because I was on the sticks.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I'm flooring it up. It's I smashed that throttle. That thing went in the air so fast. But and then I see through the goggles, I'm like, oh, there's a tree there. I might need to go. I need to turn this thing back. And instead of pulling it towards me, I just did a nosedive completely right in that dang tree. And that was it.
That was it. I want to thank you for that. That was in your reaction. Your reaction was just damn it, Paul.
And you're like, oh, it's only $10 in parts. And then I see your video and I'm like,
well, you know what it was at first I was thinking to myself when we walked over, I'm like, it's props. Oh, wait, you broke the VTX antenna. Oh, wait, there's more. My motor. But then it's like, like when you're repairing an FPV quad, we have there's more things involved. Like there's time, right? Like you have labor involved in repairing it. And I think a lot of people immediately discount the fact that you're going to spend some time to repair this quad. And those are important aspects of this. So, but either or way, I'm just going to take it out of your paycheck, which was 0. So now it's just really 0.
For sure. Yeah.
But anyways, we had a good time. And now that we can go out of the house and all the good things, we're going to keep filming videos. So there's going to be more of Paul's antics on the channel somewhere. Sprinkled in there wherever Chelsea allows him. Chelsea, let him go out of the house on the weekend, maybe one day.
I'm sure.
I don't know.
We should make our wives be close friends, and
Yeah.
then
They could be close friends. Yeah, we could just let them go. Oh, you know what? Before I forget. Oh my goodness, I want to. All right, this is an odd request, fellas, ladies, fellas, gentlemen. All the people. So I have to do this, Paul. I got to do this.
I have no idea what's going to happen here.
No, you do know. You know what I'm going to do. So I want to share my screen here and show you guys something. So check it out. I posted this on the community page earlier today. So there is an imposter. So somebody that I must have pissed off at some point has made a troll account for me. Anyways, if you notice where it says original, it's not an O, it's a 0. So it's actually a 0, not an O. But anyways, this
interesting.
This account here has been like messaging some of my followers and saying some off the wall shit. Now, Twitter did lock down their account for inappropriate activity because they were saying things about, I won't even repeat what they were saying. But anyways, Brian, I am so sorry that they said all that shit to you. But anyways, if you could do me a favor, I'm going to put a link to this dumbass's Twitter account in the chat. I'll also make sure Paul puts a link in the description. But anyways, what I want you guys to do is take a chance. Please go hit the report button on this Twitter account and take it down, because the dude is just saying some off the wall shit. And yeah,
I had no idea about this.
Yeah. I mean, look at the stuff he's saying to people. Like, this is most of the tweets were deleted, but like he's saying some really foul stuff to people. Just like I have no idea. Like, I have no idea who the fuck this person is. But this is not me, clearly, and I'm giving them a lot more airtime. But the quicker people react at reporting this account, the faster they're going to take that down, and the faster that I don't have to deal with this dumb fuck shit. I've reported him. I don't know why Twitter does not take any action. My biggest problem with social media is that there is no customer support. The reality is, everybody who uses a social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, doesn't matter. We're a customer. We're using their service. We're enhancing their platform. We're engaging with their personal based ads. The least they can do is respond to somebody when they have an issue. Take fucking care of it, Twitter. That shouldn't be a thing. Dumb motherfuckers, man. Anyways, but I figure if enough of people report that stupid prick, then this won't happen. The problem is, here's the problem. Like, I don't know who it is, but he's saying some weird shit. It's somebody I know or pissed off. I mean, somebody asked me, well, who'd you piss off? And I said, well, who didn't I piss? It's easier for me to tell you who I didn't piss off than who I did. I mean, the reality is I'm always going to say what's on my mind. So if that offends you, then I don't want you here on this channel if what I'm saying is going to easily offend you. My channel has never been for kids. My channel is never meant to be PG-13. I curse. I'm not going to make apologies for that. That's me. That's always been who I am. And if that comes at a cost of me growing slower than some of my other peers, well, at the end of the day, I've always been true to myself. I can't say the same for the others. That's sort of shots fired, but fuck them anyways. Yeah.
Huh.
People are pussies. So.
Wow. That's crazy. I reported it. You can report it as impersonating somebody else, and you guys gotta put in Ken's real Twitter username, which is obviously OriginaldoBo with a O instead of a 0. But
yeah, you know, here's the thing. I probably wouldn't have a problem with this account. If they wanted to make a parody account, that's fine. I don't care. But just don't use a 0, because the 0, like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, shit.
did somebody hack your account, right?
Did somebody hack my account? I had to take a double take, and I was like, oh, wait a second. They used a 0, not an O. And then I started thinking to myself, well, should I just change my name to the real OriginaldoBo? But then I'm like, well, I've had my handle for over 10 years.
Right.
I don't want to give that up, because then they win. That's some bullshit. So I'm fucking drunk, Paul. All right. Well, this was a good show. 10-11. Wonderful guest. I really had a good time with Zoroe. Like, that's one of the people, like, when I get out to California, I want to meet up with, I want to fly with, I want to vlog with, I want to spend a whole day just picking his brain and just hanging out with him. Like, there's so many people I want to hang out with very, very soon. So I'm really excited for the future of the channel. So thank you for everybody who's been following along with everything. Like, we're so close to 45,000 subscribers. We're like 50 subscribers away from 45,000. I could easily wait till we hit 50,000 to say thank you, but I'll say thank you right now. There's too many of you to even thank, but I swear to Christ, when I say I know probably at least 20,000 of you, and it interacted with so many more. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for allowing me to make this channel what it is today, making the brand, the Dobo brand, what it is today. You guys are absolutely some of my best friends. And every time we get a chance to meet up or hang out, I feel like I've known all of you for forever and ever. And for that, I can't even thank you enough for allowing me to do what I do. So I mean that. It's just super sincerely mean that. So you guys
don't get
awesome.
nice Ken very often. So when he comes out,
yeah, you got to take it. You got to take it when you can get it, right? So
right.
Get all mushy on you guys there.
Oh,
But,
get all soft on us.
So, all right. So that's going to do it for tonight's stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out, putting up with me and Paul's rants. And yeah, stay original.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do? Could stop me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates, I'm not trying to be cool. Yeah, yeah. I think it's time to change the scene. Ditch the limits.
Did I just get fuck you, Paul? Yes.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do? Could stop me cold in my tracks, yeah.
Oh man, you know I gotta crash more of Ken's FPV drones. It's gonna be epic. I'm gonna do it again. What is he? He doesn't even know how to control this. I'm the dang producer here. You throwing me into this little runt.
I want